you're not involved. Don't try to convince yourself that these problems don't affect you at all. Because now it's Lebanon, Azania, Grenada. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and watch your children go off to war. Don't stand back and wait for this violence to come to your door. Because now it's Chile, Guatemala, El Salvador. How many more? Tell me now. How
Peace and love. Welcome, my brother. How you doing, brother?
Peace, peace, peace. How you doing, brother? I'm well. Thank you for having us here.
Yes, yes. I appreciate your time and the opportunity to speak about this very important message. Before, matter of fact, introduce yourself, and then I'm just going to give the people a brief history about what the Black Panther Party did in terms of serving the interests of their people, our people.
Ashe. Peace to the people. All power to the people. Black power. Free all political prisoners. Free the land. Free them all. I am Jasiri Fahali Kiyama, organizer with Hala. Hala's link all together. A grassroots organization that does work in New York City around healing youth from Black and targeted communities. And a part of our work is, also supporting our elders' work from the Black Liberation Movement.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate you for coming on. I had to always introduce you again, even though you've been on this platform. Even though I host this platform, the platform doesn't belong to me exclusively. It belongs to Hala. It belongs to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, and anybody who wants to come on and speak about the issues in our community for our self-determination and how it directly related to the political prisoner. So October is Black Panther Party History Month, and it's a time where we reflect on that history and more than just theory, right, and practice. And I just want to take time to talk about the Black Panther Party regarding what they did for our community. They had a number of programs, and these just to go over a couple of their programs. They had the free breakfast for children program launched in 1968. This program provided free, nutritious breakfast to school children, recognizing that hunger was a barrier to learning. By 1969, it expanded to 19 cities, serving over 20,000 children daily. They had the People's Free Medical Centers. The Black Panther Party established health clinics in various cities to offer essential medical services to underserved communities. These clinics provided treatments for common ailments, immunizations, and health screenings, addressing sufficient health disparities. Free food program. This initiative distributed food to families in need, particularly during times of economic hardship. The program aimed to alleviate hunger and provide essential resources to low-income households. Sickle cell anemia awareness. The Black Panther Party raised awareness about sickle cell anemia, a disease disproportionately affecting African Americans. They provided testing and education, contributing to increased research and funding for treatment. Freedom schools. The Panthers established educational programs, including freedom schools, which focus on teaching Black history and culture. These schools aim to empower children and provide an alternative to the mainstream education system. Legal aid and transportation services. The party offered legal assistance to those facing injustices and provided transportation services to help community members access essential resources and services. That's just to give you an overview of what the Black Panther Party did, because beyond just selling newspapers, beyond just patrolling the community around what was happening in terms of the community's relationship to the police and police brutality, they had those social programs. So this coming Saturday, in that tradition, in that honor, we'll be having Curbfest. So my first question for you, my brother, is what is Curbfest and how it's and its history?
Yes. So Curbfest, from what I learned, and from engaging and doing the work, is a national movement. And it started about 4 years ago. Various organizers, activists, um, uh, and Black Panther Party veterans, uh, Republican New African members, and Black Liberation Army members forming this collaborative together to engage in community and bring awareness about political prisoners and prisoners of war. And it's happening in various parts of the nation. Um, in the New York region, in Philadelphia, in Houston, Texas, on the West Coast, right? Where folks in their community are, you know, sharing resources, organizing collaboratively in unity to bring awareness about our captured freedom fighters. And in the process, bring political education to teach folks about our struggle. And in that process, help folks understand the importance of getting involved and the importance of supporting political prisoners and prisoners of war by any means necessary in any ways that you can. And so that is Curbfest. And when it started in New York City 4 years ago, it was spearheaded by Sekou Odinga, who is now an ancestor, who was a part of the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army and the Republic of New Africa. And he came to holla in various organizations proposing Curbfest in New York City. And ever since then, we did it every year. First year was in Harlem. The second and third year was in Brooklyn. And now the fourth year, we're bringing it to Jamaica, Queens, the 40 Project.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for that breakdown. I'm familiar with the history, but for those who don't haven't viewed, who are not aware of it, it's always important for us to revisit that. So I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the elaborate breakdown that you did. And it's very important that the community of South Jamaica, Queens, know their history of organizing, their history of fighting back, standing up for themselves, standing up for their right to be self-determined. That's an action that needs to be talked about consistently, because it's an action that we need to take consistently around the areas of food, clothing, and shelter, and beyond. I know that for me, Curbfest is dear to me, because I remember of setting up with Sekou and talking to Sekou, and just seeing how somebody sacrificed so much of their lives, doing over 33 years in prison, coming home and not forgetting those political prisoners. It let me know that he was a very principled man, that he could have did anything else with his time, but yet he chose to spend it organizing Curbfest. So, I salute him, and I think that what we're doing is the proper way you honor people. You honor people in practice. You make that decision that you're going to carry on that work. And so that's why this is very important this coming Saturday, because we lost a number of great freedom fighters like Sada Shakur, like Matulu Shakur, like Sekou Odinga, like Herman Ferguson, and all those was from South Jamaica, Queens. At least I know that Sada Shakur had resided in South Jamaica, Queens at one point in her life. So we have to remind the people about these people and the fact that we need to carry on their work in 2025. My next question is, what is your history to Curbfest, like your personal experiences with Curbfest?
My personal experiences with Curbfest. I would like to talk about I like to talk about the second and the third. Well, all of them is all personal to me. Definitely one, as you're saying, building a relationship with Baba Sekou, and we're standing in front of giants, right, and really beautiful, as you said, with strong principles and values, black men, so I really honored getting to, be organizing with Sekou to, put together Curfest. So as you said, that was truly an honor the first year. The second year, we held Curfest at this spot called Ujamas, right, in Utica, on Utica, in Brooklyn. And what was very special for us, for me too, was that before that time and during that time, me and a few other organizers and myself, um, were putting together, we have put together and organized street cleanups, right? So we've been doing street cleanups probably for at least a year and a half on that avenue to, one, build people power and build relationships with the community, right? And the streets was very dirty, right? So we wanted to change the culture of that neighborhood, right? Our neighborhood, while at the same time asking for donations to support independent African-centered institutions, right? So we already built a strong relationship with that community. And so we was able to ask Ujamaa, that business, which is a health food store, if we could use their space for Curfest, right? And they were open. We didn't have to pay for the space. We didn't have to get a permit to have to use the space on the curb on the block, right? And that was because of the persistent work that we was already doing within the community, following the footsteps of the Black Panther Party and the Young Lords, right? So I think that was very significant in the work that is you know, centered around Curve Fest, centered around the Black Liberation Movement, centered around our political prisoners and prisoners of war. And that community, really was open to us having that engagement, and even invited us a second year to do it. And that's where we did Curve Fest the third time.
Wow, that's very impressive. You took the initiative to clean up a community, let the community know that this is our culture. This is an expression of our culture. You want people over to side in with your ideas, and that's commendable. And that's definitely carrying on a tradition of the Black Panther Party, who was connected to the community, had a strong bond. We talk about culture being a weapon. Culture teaches, culture transforms, culture liberates. And I think that, people need to understand the power that culture has. Outsiders know the value of our culture. That's why you have like these corporations come and have these reality shows. Like I was watching something about Black Ink, and one of the people who participated in Black Ink said that the corporation got I think $13 billion or $3 billion of something off of that reality show. And that was a depiction of our reality, right? And just these corporations know the value of it. And we got to know the value of our culture. We have to utilize that. And that's why I think Curbfest does that. It prepares us to take charge of our reality, to decide that, this is going to be what we stand for. The political prisoners, one of the things that they do is that they represent what sacrifice is about: accountability. Sacrifice, putting the needs and the wants of others before your own. Accountability is not accepting certain things in your community, standing up for your community, and taking responsibility for that reality. Um,
No,
my
definitely.
next question is, how does Curbfest carry the legacy of the Black Panther Party?
Mm. I think it relates to, as I said, the what is needed to happen to actually have a ceremony, the culture, as you said, a cultural revolution, to have community come together, right? Those are the uh the ingredients that was within the Black Panther Party, right? Um Curfest is about unifying, right? Unifying, right? Us as different, groups and organizations, activists coming together, unifying and aligning under the principles of political prisoners and prisoners of war, right? And then with that unity, able to take action within our communities to, bring that awareness to our families, right? Because they're a part of that legacy. As you said, in Jamaica, Queens, they're a part of that legacy, right? The ongoing legacy of Black liberation, which the Black Panther Party represented, right? And so, as we talk about coming together, unifying, bringing the awareness to the community, honoring and celebrating our Black liberation movement, and not forgetting about our political prisoners and prisoners of war, which the United States do not recognize, but at the same time, we have forgotten, and we must not forget, because it is counterinsurgency to split a people away from their true reality, as you said, right? To split a people away from their culture, away from their history, away from, who they really are. And so, we have to counter the counterinsurgency, and we have to continue to do Curfest, and we have to continue to, you know, let the community know that they have leadership in taking control over their own circumstances, and gaining self-determination.
Absolutely, brother. I know, me and you, we were involved in the outreach, right? We was hands-on, boots on the ground. We were talking to a number of people. We were at the train station. At one point, I held the banner up while you talked to the people about political prisoners. And I think that, that was very important, because we gave out these palm cards, right? These palm
Mhm.
cards, if you don't have it, it has a QR code on it. The QR code allows you to register and donate. And in the back, it has a definition of a political prisoner. And I just want to read that, because I think that when people get this palm card, and then when people show up to Curbfest, we have to let them know what a political prisoner is, right? Because sometimes people want to talk to you about it, and they just want to focus on the term prisoner, right? They don't get into the political aspect, and that's when we have to start to heighten their consciousness, right? It starts off them being informed, and now we want to take them to the conscious level where they understand what a political prisoner is, and now we want to bring them into actually doing some work around a political prisoner, even if they just write to a political prisoner and build their own relationship from that point on. But the card says political prisoner, a person who is held in confinement because of their support for people struggling for freedom from an oppressive government or against its oppressive policies, or participating in an organization involved in such a freedom struggle. Prisoner of war, a national combatant of an oppressed nation held in confinement by the oppressor nation because of their participation in an organization fighting for self-determination, independence, or national liberation from the oppressor nation, or for support of or identity with that struggle. Freedom all. And just yes, just visiting those experiences and the outreach, because that's one of the things I want to talk about now, is that our engagement with the community around this. I know at one point when we were in 40 projects, South Jamaica houses, that you were on the corner, you were putting up a flyer, and I spoke to the sister. I gave her one of these, and she said, "Oh yeah, I need to go because Asada Shakur had just died." You know, and one thing that allowed me to understand is that people were paying attention to what was going on. At least some people were paying attention to something going on. And that's why when we came with this concept of Curbfest for political prisoners in South Jamaica, Queens, now those who might have knew something now feel like their relationship is changing with that concept, because now it's being brought to their community. So now it's right at your doorstep. You go a couple of blocks, you get more informed, you engage, you start to understand that, wow, this is a reality. People are really cared about these people who made sacrifices. It wasn't just something that you seen online and you shared. It was something actually in your community. They spoke about political prisoners. They educated you on political prisoners. They fed you, and I think that that's what makes Curbfest so powerful. So was there any moments during our outreach that stood out to you?
Um, I think outreach. Nah, it's good. That's a great question. I think outreach is underrated. I think outreach is underrated, and I think it's a skill that people have to train in and develop each other in, right? Um, because Asada, and I love Asada. She talks about being people, right? Being people. You know, um, and we see the state has propaganda, right? The state has people who's doing outreach. I be seeing people in our neighborhood uh uh having surveys, asking people to take surveys. And sometimes I see people actually take the survey, but they may not know what are they actually doing with this information. What are they actually doing with this data, right? So I think, you know, definitely we have to be wary of the outreach that is happening onto us that is definitely continuing counterinsurgency. But I say that because, as I said, outreach is a skill, and it's very important to when we came together. First thing that we did as organizers, we checked in. We checked in with each other. We said, let's say, how y'all day is going, and what is our intention for today's outreach. And what does that do is, one, help us express, what is, you know what are we trying to do here, right? As well as, you know how can we, internally prepare ourselves, right? Definitely before you come to outreach, I'm preparing myself. While I'm on the train, I'm thinking, I'm feeling, I'm getting ready. But definitely when we did that check-in, it always prepares us. So I definitely think that's very significant. um and then we, express, you know any pointers that we feel that we should remember to stand on within our, as it relates to, uh, doing Curfest. And what we talked about is, making sure folks know that, when we say political prisoners, we're talking about our captured freedom fighters,
Absolutely.
right? Um, and so it's very, very important that we, you know, keep the principles of who they are and help people understand, you know, uh, uh, who are we talking about? Folks like Imam Jamil Alameen,
Yes.
right? Abu Jamal.
Friend.
Um,
Friend now.
and so I think one of the few favorites I enjoyed when we did outreach, when we, were able to talk to some of the young people who didn't know about political prisoners and prisoners of war. And, we talked about the Black Panther Party, and we related that to, as you said, the breakfast program that they gave to children, because the state didn't care about our young people eating before they went to their indoctrination camps, right? And so that is their history. That is related to us. That is our history, right? And sharing with them and letting them know, hey, y'all should go to school, and let them know, like, why y'all not teaching us about the Black Panther Party? And so I appreciated those engagements. Um, and I also appreciated being able to um, connect with the community center, right? That we were able to that you, brother Frank, have been building relationships with, who's allowing us to, host Curfest at the Jamaica Queens Houses Community Center. So I think those have been real good engagements, because it shows, that we're self-determined, and dedicated to getting this done. And I think that's a part of outreach. Like I said, outreach is a skill, and a part of being also people is to, be, you know we always talk about, whenever we did outreach trainings, or these, just outreach check-ins, it's about, smiling, letting people know who you are, right? Giving people eye contact, right?
Absolutely.
This is not about, we're not trying to be judgmental. We're not trying to force anything down folks' throats, right? We want folks to be, we want folks to gravitate to the information, be like, oh snap, I heard that. What did he say? Prisoner? Ooh, let me get that. Oh, did he say, Malcolm X? Did he say Martin Luther King Jr.? Oh, wait, right? So people are connecting to the information in their spirit. They feeling connected. I seen a young brother come to me. He was like, nah, let me get that.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Oh man.
So it's touching people's spirits when we talk about the work that political prisoners and prisoners of war have done, to the reason why they have been taken and put into these concentration camps, um, and, you know forgotten and never heard of. um, and so I definitely think, yeah, outreach is very powerful.
Yes, man. I hear your passion in your voice when you express your experiences. So I appreciate you sharing that with me and those who are viewing, because it's very important that people know that this is not just a platform to speak about political prisoners. It's about organizing around political prisoners, taking this idea to the community, to the streets, making sure that when we stop talking on this platform, that we're engaging people, we're letting people know that yeah, they are political prisoners, they should come home to their families, to our community, and we need to take care of them. So for those who want to support Curbfest, we provided a number right on the screen. And if you're not able to see that number, you can contact me at 347-679-3936. I can give you this flyer, a digital copy, and you can share it with as many people as possible. We need more donations. We have a certain amount of money that we're trying to get before Saturday. And if you could donate, we appreciate that. Again, you can scan this QR code and you go right there to donate. And looking forward to seeing you Saturday. Please share this with as many people as possible. And y'all know the call, free them all. Any last words, brother, before we check out? Appreciate your time. I know the value of it. And tell the family, thank you for allowing you to come on and speak about the upcoming work.
Well, we thank you, Brother Frank. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for continuing Sekou's legacy of the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. And thank you for having us here.
What's the call?
Free them all. Free them